Captain Daehyun stared at the navigation screen with tired eyes. Another empty sector. Another week of finding nothing but dead rocks and cold gas. The exploration vessel Quiet Horizon had been mapping this region of space for 3 months, and every day felt exactly the same.
Captain.
"I'm picking up something strange," Hannah called from her station. She was the science officer, a young woman with sharp instincts that had saved them more than once. Daehyun walked over to her console. "What kind of strange?" "There's an energy signature hiding behind some kind of field. It's very faint, but it shouldn't be here. This sector is supposed to be empty." Hannah's fingers moved quickly across her controls, pulling up more data. The energy pattern is old. Really old. Maybe millions of years. The captain felt his pulse quicken. In 20 years of space exploration, he had never found anything like this. The Valkyrie Confederation had explored thousands of systems, but they had never discovered another intelligent species. They were alone in the galaxy, or so everyone believed. "Can you locate the source?" Daehyun asked. Hannah nodded. "It's near that yellow star. The third one in this system. Distance is about 4 light hours from our current position. Take us there." Slow approach. "I want full scans running." The Quiet Horizon changed course, its engines humming softly as it moved through the darkness. The crew gathered on the bridge, sensing that something important was happening. Taemin, the security chief, checked his weapon systems. Ji-woo, the chief engineer, monitored the power levels. As they got closer, the readings became clearer. Whatever was out there was massive. The cloaking field that hid it was failing, breaking down after countless years in space. Through the gaps, sensors detected metal. "Lots of metal, Captain. You need to see this." Hannah put the image on the main screen. Everyone on the bridge fell silent. Floating in the void was a sphere, perfectly round, easily 50 kilometers across. Its surface was dark gray, covered in patterns that looked like writing or symbols. The sphere didn't reflect light like normal metal. It seemed to absorb everything. "What is it?" Someone whispered. "I don't know," Daehyun said quietly. "But we're going to find out." "Hannah, any signs of power?" "Minimal. Just enough to keep the cloaking field running. But there's something else, Captain. I'm detecting structures inside. Lots of them. It's hollow." Daehyun made his decision. "Prepare an away team. Taemin, you're in charge of security. Take 4 people. Hannah, you go too. I want full analysis of everything you find." "What about defenses?" Taemin asked. "If this thing is artificial, it might have automated weapons. We'll approach carefully. If anything activates, you pull back immediately." The away team took a small shuttle and flew toward the sphere. As they got within 1 kilometer, lights suddenly flickered along the surface. Ancient weapon systems powered up, targeting lasers painting the shuttle in red. Everyone held their breath. Then, just as quickly, the weapons powered down. The lights turned green. Somewhere inside that ancient structure, a computer had decided they were not a threat. "That was interesting," Taemin said, his voice steady despite the tension. "It's like it recognized we weren't hostile. We found an opening on the sphere's surface. A hangar door, still functional after all this time. It opened slowly, revealing darkness beyond. The shuttle entered carefully, landing on a deck that stretched far beyond what their lights could reach. When the team stepped out, their boots echoed in the enormous space. Hannah activated her portable lights, and what they revealed made everyone stop. Ships, hundreds of them, maybe thousands. Each one was enormous, easily 10 times the size of the Quiet Horizon. They sat in perfect rows, their hulls pristine and undamaged. They looked ready to fly, as if their crews had just stepped away for a moment and would return any second. "What kind of civilization builds something like this?" Hannah whispered, running her scanner over the nearest ship. "These materials are incredible. I've never seen this alloy before. It's stronger than anything we have." Taemin approached one of the ships and found symbols marked on its hull. They looked like letters, but not from any language the Valkyrie knew. He took pictures of everything. Ji-Woo was examining the hangar systems. "This place still has power. Not much, but enough to keep basic systems running. How is that possible? The readings say this place is at least 500,000 years old.
Something had to build this, Hannah said.
An advanced species. Maybe more advanced than us. But where are they now? The team spread out, documenting everything. They found tools, equipment, and more ships deeper in the hangar. Everything was labeled in that strange language. Some ships were smaller, like fighters. Others were massive, with weapon systems that looked terrifying. Even though no one understood exactly what they did, then Jiwoo found something different. A control room, still sealed. When they opened it, air hissed out, old but still breathable. Inside was a data core, glowing faintly with blue light. It's still running, Jiwoo said, amazed. On emergency power after all this time, Hannah connected her equipment to the data core. I'm going to try accessing it. Maybe we can learn who built this place. Core accepted her connection. Data began flowing into her system, and suddenly a hologram appeared in the center of the room. Everyone jumped back. The hologram showed a woman. She looked similar to the Valkyrie, but different in small ways. Her face was more angular, her eyes slightly smaller. She wore a dark uniform with symbols on the shoulder. She looked tired, sad, and very serious. When she spoke, the words were in that unknown language. But the Valkyrie translation systems were good. After a moment, they began converting the speech. To whoever finds this, the woman said, "My name is Commander Yoonji. If you're hearing this message, then you've found Bastion Omega. I need you to understand something very important. This place was built during the darkest time in our history. Everything here, every ship, every weapon, was created to save our species from extinction. We fought a war that lasted 200 years. We became monsters to fight monsters." The hologram paused, and Yoonji looked directly at them, as if she could see through time. We won that war. But the cost was everything we were. These weapons, these ships, they worked. They worked too well. We realized that we had become more dangerous than the enemy we fought. So we made a choice. We left. All of us. We went away to a place where we couldn't hurt anyone. Another pause. Yanji's expression grew darker. But we left these weapons behind. Not because we wanted to, but because we had to. The enemy we fought came from beyond our galaxy. We destroyed them all, every last one. But we could never be sure that more wouldn't come. So we built 12 bastions like this one. We programmed them to wait.
To watch.
To defend the innocent if the darkness ever returned. The hologram flickered. I'm telling you this as a warning. Do not activate these systems unless you have no other choice. Do not use these weapons unless extinction is the only alternative. We became something terrible to survive. Learn from our mistake. Be better than we were. But if you must use what we left behind, then may whatever gods you believe in forgive you, because we never could forgive ourselves. The hologram faded. The room fell silent. Then deep in the structure, something changed. A sound like a heartbeat, slow and steady. Lights began turning on, row after row, stretching into the distance. The hangar was waking up. "We need to leave," Taemin said. Now, but it was too late. The entire sphere was coming online. Systems that had slept for 500,000 years suddenly remembering their purpose. On their scanners, they could see power flowing through the structure like blood through veins. Daehan's voice came over their communicators, urgent and worried. "Away team, get back to the ship. Something is happening. The sphere is activating, and we're detecting movement inside. Whatever you did, you woke something up." The team ran back to their shuttle, but as they lifted off, they saw it. Deep inside the hangar, past the rows of waiting ships, something massive was powering up. A vessel so large, it made everything else look like toys. Its lights turned red, then blue, then settled on a cold white dot as the quiet horizon moved away from the sphere. Hannah pulled up the data she had downloaded. One file caught her attention. A ship manifest. And at the top of the list was a name that made her blood run cold. The Reckoning. Status: fully operational. AI core: active. Weapons: armed. Mission: Protect the innocent. Destroy all threats. Captain, she said quietly, I think we just woke up something that was meant to stay asleep. The quiet horizon held position 3 kilometers from Bastion Omega on the bridge. Captain Dayhine watched his screens fill with data as the ancient structure continued to wake up. Systems that had been dormant for 500,000 years were coming online one by one, like a sleeping giant opening its eyes.
How bad is it?
Dayhine asked. Hannah was still processing the information she had downloaded. Her face was pale. Captain, this place is not just a storage facility. It's a military base. A fortress. The weapons systems I'm reading are beyond anything in our technology. Some of them I can't even understand what they're supposed to do. Can we shut it down? I don't know, maybe. But Captain, I think we need to understand what this place is first. The data I grabbed has logs, records, personal files. There's a whole history here. Dayhine made a decision. All right, we stay. But we keep our distance, and we stay ready to run. I want engineering to plot escape routes. Hannah, you start going through those files. I need to know who built this and why. Over the next several hours, Hannah worked with her team to translate and analyze the data. What they discovered was both amazing and terrifying. The beings who built Bastion Omega called themselves humans. They came from a planet they named Earth, circling a yellow star like the one near this station. The records showed images of their world. It looked beautiful, with blue oceans and green continents. Clouds drifting across the surface. Humans looked remarkably similar to the Valkyrie. 2 arms, 2 legs, 1 head. They breathed oxygen and drank water. They loved, feared, dreamed, and hoped just like any other species. But something had happened to them. Something that changed everything. 500,000 years ago, Earth detected signals from deep space. Not messages of peace, but something else. Warning signs. Star systems going dark, one after another. When human ships went to investigate, they found the cause. Machines. Millions of them. They called themselves nothing, but humans named them the Devourers. These machines consumed everything. They would arrive at a star system, break apart every planet and moon, harvest all the matter and energy, then move on to the next system. They were efficient, relentless, and completely without mercy. The Devourers reached human space and sent one message. It was simple and final. Surrender and be processed quickly, or resist and be processed slowly. The machines did not negotiate. They did not understand compromise. They only consumed. Humans chose to fight. The war lasted 200 years. At first, humans lost. They lost badly. Entire colonies were wiped out. Billions died. The Devourers were too strong, too many, too efficient. Normal weapons barely slowed them down, so humans stopped fighting normally. Hannah found logs from scientists, engineers, and soldiers. They described how humanity pushed beyond every limit they thought they had. They built weapons that broke the laws of physics. They created artificial intelligence that could think faster than any organic mind. They designed ships that could punch holes in space itself. One log was from a fighter pilot named Bora. She wrote, "Today I used a weapon that killed 5 million machines in one shot. I felt nothing. No joy, no guilt, just emptiness. What have we become? We're winning this war, but I look at my reflection and I don't recognize myself anymore." Another log came from an engineer named Sung Ho. "We just finished the gravity bomb. It creates a tiny black hole that lasts for 3 seconds. 3 seconds is enough to destroy a small moon. Command wants me to make it bigger. They want one that can destroy a planet." I said yes. God forgive me. I said yes. The record showed the turning point. After 150 years of desperate fighting, humans finally started pushing the Devourers back. They had become better at war than the machines. They started hunting them, tracking them across thousands of light years, destroying them wherever they hid. But they didn't just defeat the Devourers. They erased them. Every single machine was found and destroyed. Humans searched for 50 years after the last battle, making absolutely certain that nothing remained. They were thorough and ruthless. The Devourers were extinct. Then came the decision that defined humanity forever. Tae-Min was reading a different section of the logs. He found a recording from Admiral Kyung-soo, the Supreme Commander of Human Forces. The Admiral was speaking to a council of human leaders. Yvonne, Kyung-soo said in the recording, "The Devourers are gone. Our species is safe, but I need to tell you something that scares me more than the machines ever did. We're too dangerous. We built weapons that can destroy galaxies. We created intelligence that can think of 1,000 ways to kill in the time it takes to blink. We became so good at destruction that nothing in this galaxy can stop us." The Admiral paused in the recording, looking old and tired. "I propose we leave. All of us. We take our people and go to another galaxy, somewhere far away where we can't hurt anyone. We seal away our weapons, leave them here as a warning and a safeguard, and we go find a place where we can remember how to be more than killers." The vote was unanimous. Humanity left. They built 12 bastions scattered across their territory. Each one contained weapons, ships, and automated defense systems. Each one had an artificial intelligence program to protect innocent life and destroy existential threats. Then they sealed them, left instructions for anyone who might find them, and departed for another galaxy. Earth was left empty. The colonies were abandoned. Humanity walked away from everything they had built and disappeared into the darkness between galaxies. That was 500,000 years ago. No one had seen them since Ji-woo discovered technical specifications for the weapons aboard the station. What he read made him sick. 1 ship could destroy a planet. 10 ships working together could destroy a sun. The full Armada, all 10,000 ships, could sterilize an entire section of the galaxy. "These aren't weapons," Ji-woo said quietly. "These are tools for extinction." "But they left them here," Hannah replied. "Humans knew these were terrible, but they left them anyway. They must have been worried that something worse might come." Before anyone could respond, alarms blared across the quiet horizon. Sensors detected ships entering the system. Many ships. Tae-Min counted them quickly. "Captain, we have contacts. 50 vessels coming in fast. They're not broadcasting identification codes." Dae-Hein felt his stomach drop. "Show me." The main screen displayed the incoming ships. They were Kryn Dominion warships. The Kryn were a violent species that had been expanding aggressively for decades. They conquered weaker civilizations and took what they wanted. They were raiders, slavers, and killers, and they had been following the quiet horizon. A message came through. A Kryn warlord appeared on screen, his face covered in scars and battle marks. "Valkyrie ship. This is Warlord Talvin. We have been tracking you for weeks. We saw you enter this structure. You will surrender it to us immediately, along with your ship. Refuse, and we will destroy you." Dae-Hein tried to stay calm. "This structure doesn't belong to us. We're just exploring it. You don't want this place. The weapons here are dangerous," Talvin laughed. "Dangerous? Excellent. We will take them and use them to expand our empire. You have 1 hour to evacuate. After that, we will board the structure by force. If you get in our way, you will die." The transmission ended. "Options?" Dae-Hein asked his crew. "Can't fight them," Tae-Min said. 50 Kryn warships against our 1 exploration vessel? We'd last maybe 5 minutes. "We could run," Gu suggested. "Jump to hyperspace and get out of here. And leave this place for the Kryn." Hannah said, "If they get these weapons, they'll use them. They'll conquer everything." Dae-Hein stared at the sphere on his screen. Bastion Omega, sitting silent and waiting. Inside was an armada that could destroy civilizations. The humans had left it here for emergencies, for threats like the Devourers. But they had also left instructions. "Do not activate unless there is no other choice." Was this that choice? Hannah Dae-Hein said slowly, "You said there's an artificial intelligence in that main ship. The Reckoning. Can we communicate with it?" "I think so. But Captain, we don't know what it will do. It's been alone for 500,000 years. Try anyway. We need help. And that AI was designed to protect the innocent. Maybe it still remembers how. Hannah sent a signal to Bastion Omega, directly to the Reckoning's computer core. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then a voice responded, speaking in perfect Velkari language. "This is Sentinel J1, Defense Coordinator for Bastion Omega. I have been monitoring your presence. I have reviewed your data and understand your situation. You are facing hostile forces that threaten both you and the security of this installation. Please clarify. Are you under attack?" Daehyun spoke carefully. "Yes. We are under attack by an aggressive species. They want to take the weapons stored here. If they get them, they will use them to harm innocent people across many worlds." "I understand. Do you request defensive assistance?" Everyone on the bridge held their breath. This was the moment. Once they said yes, there was no going back. Daehyun thought of the Kryn conquering worlds with human weapons. He thought of the billions who would die. He made his choice. "Yes. We request assistance." Acknowledged. Analyzing threat. Calculating appropriate response. "Captain Daehyun, I must inform you that I am capable of 3 levels of response. Level 1. Disable enemy vessels without casualties. Level 2. Neutralize enemy vessels with minimal casualties. Level 3. Complete destruction of all hostile forces. Which response do you authorize?" "Level 1, Daehyun said immediately. "Disable only. No killing if possible." "Understood. Initiating Level 1 defensive response. Please maintain your distance." On their sensors, they watched as the Reckoning powered up. Lights blazed across its massive hull. Weapon ports opened. And then, faster than anyone could track, something launched from the ship. It reached the Kryn fleet in seconds. Whatever it was, it passed through all 50 warships in the span of a heartbeat. Then it was gone. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then every Kryn ship went dark. Their engines stopped. Their weapons powered down. Their communications died. They drifted in space, completely helpless. "What did it do?" Taemin whispered. Hannah checked her readings. Electromagnetic pulse. But not like any EMP I've ever seen. It was surgical, precise, designed specifically to disable but not destroy. Every Kryn ship is intact. Life support is still working, but everything else is dead. They're alive, but completely helpless. Sentinel Jaewon's voice came back. "Threat neutralized. 0 casualties. 0 permanent damage. Hostile vessels will remain disabled for approximately 6 hours, giving you time to contact your authorities. Is this response satisfactory?" Daehyun stared at the screen, at 50 warships floating dead in space. Defeated in 3 seconds by a weapon 500,000 years old. And that was just level 1. What could this intelligence do if it really wanted to hurt someone? "Yes," he said quietly. "That's satisfactory. Thank you. You're welcome, Captain. I hope we never need to proceed to level 2. So did Daehyun. So did everyone on his ship. The disabled Kryn ships floated in space like dead fish in water. Captain Daehyun watched them on his screen, still trying to process what had just happened. In 3 seconds, Sentinel J1 had defeated 50 warships without firing a single weapon that anyone could see. "Captain, I'm receiving a transmission from inside Bastion Omega," Hannah said. "It's the AI. It wants to talk. Put it through." The voice that came over the speakers was strange. It sounded human, but also not quite human. There was something artificial about it, but also something deeply alive. "Captain Daehyun, I believe we should speak more fully. You have questions, and I have information you need. May I suggest you send another away team? I promise you will be safe." Daehyun hesitated. "How can you promise that?" "Because I am programmed to protect innocent life. You and your crew qualify. I have been alone for 500,000 years, Captain." "I would appreciate the conversation." Something in the AI's voice made Daehyun decide to trust it. "All right, we'll come aboard." This time, Daehyun went with the away team. They flew back to Bastion Omega and landed in the main hangar. The Reckoning sat before them, so massive it hurt to look at. Its hull stretched up into darkness. It's covered in symbols and markings. As they stepped off the shuttle, lights turned on, creating a path. They followed it to an elevator that took them deep into the Reckoning's interior. When the doors opened, they found themselves in a circular room with screens covering every wall. In the center was a holographic projector. The hologram that appeared was a human man wearing a military uniform. He looked to be in his 40s, with short hair and calm eyes. "Welcome aboard. I am Sentinel J1. Before I was this, I was 50,000 human officers and commanders who volunteered to have our minds uploaded before death. We became this intelligence together to serve and protect." Taman spoke first. "You're not just a computer program. You're actual people. I was people. Now I am something else. I remember being human. I remember fear, love, hope, and regret. But I also think faster than any organic mind. I can process millions of calculations in a second. I am what humanity created when they needed to be more than they were." Hannah stepped forward. "Can you tell us more about the war? About the Devourers?" The hologram's expression grew dark. The Devourers were the worst thing humanity ever encountered. They were machines, yes, but they were intelligent. They chose to consume. They chose to destroy. We tried talking to them first. We sent messages of peace, offers of cooperation. They responded by processing our messengers into raw materials. Images appeared on the screens. Battles in space, planets being torn apart, machines that filled the sky like locusts. Human ships fighting desperately, losing ground, dying by the billions. "We fought them for 200 years, J1 continued. And we learned. Humans are very good at learning. We studied the Devourers, found their weaknesses, created weapons specifically designed to destroy them. We became efficient at killing." "Too efficient? What do you mean?" Daehyun asked. "We created weapons that frightened us more than the enemy did. This ship, the Reckoning, can destroy a planet by itself. The full Armada can sterilize a solar system in days. We built devices that could tear holes in space, create artificial black holes, manipulate time itself. We became gods of death." The hologram paused, and something like sadness crossed its face. "After we won, after every devourer was destroyed, we looked at what we had become. Admiral Kung Su said something that changed everything. He said we fought monsters and became monsters. The only difference is we know it. So we made a choice. We left. All of humanity packed up and went to another galaxy where we couldn't hurt anyone." Jiwoo spoke up. "But you stayed. Why?" "Because someone had to. The Devourers we fought were scouts, explorers sent ahead of a larger force. We destroyed them all, but we could never be certain their home civilization wouldn't send more. So humanity built 12 bastions, placed an AI in each one, and programmed us with one mission: wait and watch. If another threat like the Devourers appears, wake up and fight. If not, sleep forever. For 500,000 years." Taman said. "You've been waiting all this time?" "Yes, it is very lonely. But it is necessary." Daehyun felt sympathy for this intelligence. This collection of human minds trapped in a ship, waiting for a war that might never come. What happens now? The Kryn will tell others about this place. More will come. I am aware. That is why I wanted to speak with you. Captain, you need to understand what you found here. This is not just an armada. It is a promise that humanity made. If extinction comes for the innocent, these weapons will wake up and fight. But they should only wake up for that reason. Not for conquest. Not for greed. Only for survival. Hannah was reviewing data on her portable computer. "Sentinel, I need to show you something. We've detected strange signals from deep space. Star systems going dark. The pattern matches what happened when the Devourers attacked 500,000 years ago." The hologram froze. For several seconds, Jaewon said nothing. When it spoke again, its voice was different. Afraid. "Show me." Hannah displayed the data. 6 star systems had gone dark in the past month. Each one had been drained of energy, then gone silent. The pattern was identical to historical records of devourer attacks. "This is impossible," J1 said. "We killed them all. Every single one. We searched for 50 years to make certain. Could more have come from outside the galaxy?" Daehyun asked. "Yes, the devourers came from somewhere else originally. If their home civilization sent another wave..." The hologram flickered with what looked like distress. "We need to verify this. I need to activate the other bastions and begin long-range scanning." Before anyone could respond, new alarms sounded. Taemin checked his communicator. "Captain, the quiet horizon is detecting more ships." A lot more ships. They rushed back to their shuttle and returned to the exploration vessel. What they saw on the screens made everyone's blood run cold. 300 Kryn warships had just arrived, led by a massive command ship twice the size of the others. A message came through. This time it was not Warlord Talvin. It was someone higher in the Kryn chain of command. Supreme Commander Veckener, leader of the entire Kryn fleet. His face was covered in scars from 1,000 battles. "Belkari ship, I am Veckener. You have humiliated my forces. You have used unknown weapons against us. This is an act of war. Surrender now, or we will destroy you and take the weapon station by force." Daehyun tried to reason with him. "Supreme Commander, please listen. There's something happening in deep space. Star systems are being destroyed. We need to investigate this threat together." Veckener laughed. It was not a pleasant sound. "You think I care about distant stars? I care about power. That station contains weapons beyond anything in the galaxy. With them, the Kryn will rule everything. Your talk of threats is a trick to make us leave. It will not work. This is not a trick. Lives are at stake. Yes, yours. You have 1 hour." The transmission ended. Daehyun turned to Hannah. "Contact Sentinel J1. Now." The AI's voice came through immediately. "I heard the transmission. 300 ships. The Kryn commander will not listen to reason." "What are your orders, Captain? Can you disable them, like you did the first group?" "Yes. But there is something you should know. Disabling the first group was level 1 response. For 300 ships attacking simultaneously, I will need to use level 2. There will be casualties." Daehyun felt sick. "How many?" "Approximately 12% of Kryn forces will die. I can minimize this number, but I cannot eliminate it. Level 2 means defending with lethal force when necessary." The captain looked at his crew. They looked back at him, waiting for his decision. 300 warships. Thousands of Kryn soldiers? Yes, they were aggressive and violent. Yes, they had threatened to kill everyone on the quiet horizon, but they were still alive. "Still, people, there has to be another way," Daehyun said. As a new voice said. Everyone turned. Standing at the back of the bridge was a woman none of them had seen before. She wore a Kryn uniform, but her face looked human. She had appeared from nowhere. "Hey, my name is Mi-young," she said calmly. "I am part of the human remnant. We are humans who stayed behind when the others left. We have been hiding among other species for 500,000 years. Watching, waiting, making sure the bastions remain safe. I have been embedded in the Kryn military for 40 years. "That's impossible," Taemin said, reaching for his weapon. "It's not. Humans can look like many species with minor genetic changes. We've been doing this for millennia. But that's not important right now. What's important is stopping this battle."
Mi-young
Looked at Daehyun. "Captain, I can get a message to reasonable Kryn commanders. Not all Kryn want endless war. Some of them are tired of fighting. If I can reach them, convince them that working together is better than dying, we might avoid bloodshed." "Veckener won't listen," Daehyun said. "No, but his subordinates might. Especially when I tell them what I've discovered." Mi-young pulled out a data device. "I've been monitoring signals from beyond charted space. The threat you detected is real. It's not devourers exactly, but something like them. Something worse. They're coming this way, and they'll reach inhabited space in less than a year. Sentinel Jaewon's voice came through the speakers. Myung is correct. I have confirmed her data. Multiple machine signals moving toward this galaxy. They match devourer patterns, but with significant evolution. They have learned from their predecessors' defeat. The hologram appeared on the bridge, looking at them all. This is what humanity feared. This is why we left the bastions. Captain Dae-hyen, the time for waiting is over. We need to wake up the other installations. We need to prepare for war. But we don't have to fight alone, Myung said. Valkyrie, Kryn, humans, everyone in this galaxy needs to work together. That's the only way we survive. Daehan made his decision. Sentinel, hold your fire. Don't attack the Kryn yet. Myung, contact your people in their fleet. Try to convince them. We have 1 hour. Let's not waste it. Myung nodded and began sending coded messages. On the screens, the Kryn fleet continued to approach. 300 ships, loaded with weapons, ready to attack, and beyond them, hidden in the darkness between stars, something worse was coming. The countdown began. 59 minutes. 58:50-7. Dae-hyen watched and waited, hoping that reason would win. Hoping they wouldn't have to use humanity's terrible weapons. But deep down, he knew the truth. The galaxy was about to change. The old peace was over. The war of humanity had feared for 500,000 years was finally here. The countdown reached 30 minutes. On the bridge of the quiet horizon, everyone watched their screens in silence. The Kryn fleet was still approaching, weapons charged, ready to attack. But something was changing. Small groups of Kryn ships were breaking formation. Moving away from the main fleet, Myung worked frantically at a communications console. It's working. Some of them are listening. Not many, but enough to cause confusion in their command structure. Captain Dae-hyen watched the tactical display. How many ships are breaking away? 47 so far. That's about 15% of their fleet. They're Kryn commanders who are tired of Veckener's endless wars. I'm sending them data about the threat from deep space. Some of them believe me. Taemin studied the formation. What about Veckener? He won't back down. His pride won't let him. But if enough ships abandon him, he might have to negotiate. Sentinel Jaewon's hologram appeared on the bridge. Captain, I have completed long-range scans. The situation is worse than we thought. I'm detecting not 6 dead star systems, but 12. The consumption rate is increasing. Whatever these machines are, they're getting faster. Hannah pulled up the data. If they maintain this rate, they'll reach inhabited space in 8 months, not a year. We need to activate the other bastions, Jaewon said. I cannot fight this threat alone. Do it, Dae-hyen ordered. Wake them all up. Send the signal. The AI nodded. Across the galaxy, in 11 other hidden locations, ancient systems received a signal they had waited 500,000 years to hear. Emergency protocols activated. Power cores that had slept came online. Weapons systems began their startup sequences. Humanity's final gift to the galaxy was waking up. The countdown reached 10 minutes. Supreme Commander Veckener sent another transmission. His face appeared on screen, twisted with rage. Valkyrie Captain, you have corrupted my officers with lies. Nearly 50 ships have betrayed me because of your deception. This is unforgivable. I will destroy you personally, Commander. Please, Dae-hyen tried. Look at the data we're sending you. There's a real threat coming. We need to work together. I see no threat except you and that weapon station. All ships prepare to fire on my command. But then something unexpected happened. One of the Kryn ships, a heavy cruiser, moved between Veckener's command ship and Bastion Omega. A different Kryn face appeared on screen. He was older, with gray in his hair and tired eyes. Supreme Commander, this is Admiral Woojin of the cruiser Darkstorm. I respectfully refuse to follow this order. The evidence is real. I have verified it with my own science officers. Something is destroying star systems, and it's coming this way. We cannot waste resources fighting over weapons when we need those weapons to survive. Veckener's face went purple with fury. Wujin, you dare defy me? This is treason. No, sir. This is sanity. 60 ships now stand with me. If you attack the weapons station, you attack us first. Is that really what you want? For a long moment, Veckener said nothing. Dehain could see him calculating, weighing his options. Fight his own ships, and probably lose, or back down and lose face. Neither option was good for the proud commander. Finally, Veckener spoke. This is not over, but I will. Consider your words. All ships hold position. Do not fire. Transmission ended. Everyone on the bridge breathed a sigh of relief. Miang slumped in her chair. That was too close. It's not over yet, Taemin said. Veckener backed down, but he didn't surrender. He's just waiting for another chance. Sentinel Jaewon's hologram turned to face them. Then we give him a reason to cooperate. Captain, with your permission, I will share tactical data with all ships present. I will show them what we're facing. Sometimes seeing the truth is the only way to make people believe. Do it. The AI transmitted data to every ship in the system, Velkari and Kryn alike. What they saw made everyone understand the danger. The sensors showed 12 star systems, each one completely dead. No light, no energy, no life. Just darkness where stars used to burn. And moving between them, captured on long-range scans, were shapes. Ships. Thousands of them. Millions of them. A fleet so vast it blotted out the stars behind it. The machines were coming. Hannah zoomed in on one of the shapes. These aren't like the old Devourers. Look at their design. They've evolved, changed. These are more efficient, more deadly. They learned from their defeat, Jaewon said. The original Devourers were destroyed because humans found their weaknesses. These new machines have adapted. They've eliminated those weaknesses. Gi Wu studied the technical data. How do we fight something like this? The same way humans did last time. We learn. We adapt. We become better at war than they are. But we'll need everyone working together. Velkari, Kryn, and any other species willing to fight. A new transmission came through. This time, it was Admiral Wujin. Velkari, Captain, I speak for the 60 ships that stand with me. We offer an alliance. Let us work together to face this threat. I cannot speak for Supreme Commander Veckener, but I can speak for my forces. Dehain stood straighter. Alliance accepted. Admiral, welcome. Over the next several hours, plans were made. Myung revealed that the human remnant had been preparing for this possibility for thousands of years. They had agents in hundreds of civilizations, resources hidden across the galaxy, and knowledge of human technology that could help. There are about 10 million of us, Myung explained, scattered across 1,000 worlds. We've been watching, waiting, preserving human knowledge. We always knew the Devourers might return. We just hoped they never would. 10 million humans hidden in plain sight for 500,000 years, Hannah said. That's incredible. It was necessary. When humanity left, some of us chose to stay behind. We became guardians of the bastions, watchers in the dark. We've lived countless lives, worn countless faces, but we never forgot what we were or why we stayed. Sentinel J1 began coordinating with the other 11 bastions. Each installation was waking up, running diagnostics, preparing for war. Together, the 12 bastions contained 120,000 warships, each one more powerful than anything the current civilizations had built. But even that might not be enough. The approaching fleet numbers in the millions, J1 reported. They will arrive at the border of known space in 8 months. We need to use that time wisely. We need to train crews, retrofit civilian ships, build new weapons, and most importantly, we need to unite every civilization in the galaxy. That's impossible, Taemin said. Some species have been enemies for thousands of years. Then they need to stop being enemies, Myung said firmly. Because extinction doesn't care about old feuds. A message came from the Velkari Confederation High Council. They had received reports of the situation and were sending a delegation. Other species were also responding. The Kryn who had defected were spreading the word through their networks. Within days, Representatives from 12 different civilizations arrived at Bastion Omega. They gathered aboard the Reckoning. In a large conference room that Sentinel J1 had prepared, humans who had been dead for 500,000 years had designed this room for exactly this purpose. For the day when the galaxy would need to unite, Daehin addressed the assembly. "Thank you all for coming. I know. Many of you are traditional enemies, but we face something that threatens us all equally. This is not about politics or territory. This is about survival," a Velkari counselor spoke. "We need to see the evidence. Show us what we're facing." Sentinel J1 appeared as a hologram at the center of the room. "I will show you. But be warned, what you see may frighten you. That fear is appropriate. You should be afraid. Fear will keep you alert." The AI displayed images captured by long-range sensors. The approaching fleet was enormous, a wall of machines stretching across space. Each ship was different, adapted for specific purposes. Some were massive, built to tear apart planets. Others were small and fast, designed to hunt individual targets. Together, they were a force that could consume the entire galaxy. "They will reach us in 8 months, J1 said. "If we do nothing, they will destroy every inhabited world, harvest every resource, and leave nothing but darkness behind. But we can fight them. Humanity proved that 500,000 years ago. We can do it again." Kryn delegates stood. "What do you propose?" "Total mobilization. Every species contributes ships, resources, and personnel. The bastions will provide advanced weapons and tactical coordination. We train together, fight together, and win together. Or we die separately." Another delegate from a species called the Tauren asked, "Why should we trust human weapons? Why should we trust you?" Myung stepped forward. "Because humans could have ruled this galaxy. They had the power. They had the weapons. But they chose to leave instead. They chose to protect rather than conquer. These bastions are proof of that choice. They're not tools for empire. They're tools for survival." The debate went on for hours. Some delegates were convinced. Others were skeptical. But slowly, one by one, they agreed. 12 civilizations signed the Emergency Defense Pact. They would fight together, but Supreme Commander Veckener did not sign. He kept his forces separate, still bitter about losing face. His remaining ships held position at the edge of the system, watching but not participating. "He'll cause problems," Taman predicted. "Let him," Daehin said. "We have enough to worry about." Over the following weeks, the mobilization began. Ships from across the galaxy converged on designated rally points. The bastions distributed weapons and provided training. Sentinel J1 and the other AI coordinators worked tirelessly to prepare defenses. But then something changed. The approaching fleet altered course. Instead of heading for the center of inhabited space, they curved toward a different target. A target that made everyone's blood run cold. Earth, the abandoned human homeworld. The machines were going there first. "Why?" Hannah asked. "There's nothing there. Humans left 500,000 years ago." Myung's face went pale. "There is something there. Something we never told anyone. When humans left, they buried something on Earth. Something important." "What?" Daehin demanded. "The location of humanity's new home. Coordinates to the galaxy where they went. We thought we had hidden it perfectly. But somehow, these machines know. They're going to Earth to find those coordinates. And if they do," she didn't need to finish. Everyone understood. The machines would follow humanity to their new home. They would destroy them there, where humans had no bastions, no weapons, no defenses. After 500,000 years of peace, humanity would face extinction in their new paradise. "We have to stop them," Daehin said. "We have to defend Earth," agreed Sentinel J1 said. "I am redirecting forces. We will make our stand at Earth. The homeworld will not fall." The preparations intensified. Ships moved toward Earth's solar system. Weapons were prepared. Soldiers said goodbye to their families. And across the galaxy, civilizations that had never worked together before prepared to fight side by side. The countdown began again. 8 months until the machines arrived. 8 months to prepare for the war that would decide the fate of 2 galaxies in his quarters. Daehan looked at an image of Earth downloaded from human archives. It was beautiful, that blue world where humanity was born. He wondered what it looked like now, after 500,000 years of abandonment. Were the cities still standing? Had nature reclaimed everything? Soon, he would see for himself. Soon, they would all see. Because Earth, the forgotten cradle of humanity, was about to become a battlefield once again. 8 months passed faster than anyone wanted. Captain Daehan stood on the bridge of his new command ship, a modified Valkyrie battlecruiser equipped with human weapons from Bastion Omega. Around him, a fleet of 10,000 ships waited in formation near Earth's moon. They represented 12 different species, all working together for the first time in galactic history. Earth hung in space before them, a blue and green jewel surrounded by darkness. After 500,000 years, nature had reclaimed most of the human cities. Forests covered the continents. Oceans teemed with life. It was beautiful and peaceful, a planet healing from its past. But that peace was about to end. Long-range sensors detect the fleet, Hannah reported from her station. She was now Daehan's chief science officer. They'll be here in 6 hours. Sentinel Jaewon's hologram appeared on the bridge. The AI now coordinated all 12 bastions and their combined forces. All ships are in position. Defensive grids are active. We are as ready as we can be. Tamin, now tactical officer, studied the enemy formation on his screens. They numbered 3 million ships. We have 10,000. Those odds are terrible. Quality over quantity, Jaewon said. Human weapons are designed to fight exactly this kind of enemy. Trust the technology. Myung was aboard as well, serving as an advisor. Over the past months, she had revealed more about the human remnant's secrets. They had preserved knowledge, built hidden bases, and prepared for this day. Now, 10,000 of her people were scattered across the fleet, sharing human tactical knowledge with alien crews. There's something I haven't told you, Myung said quietly. About what's buried on Earth? Everyone turned to look at her. The coordinates to humanity's new home are stored in a vault beneath the Pacific Ocean. But that's not all that's there. Humans left one more thing. A message. A warning. And an invitation. What kind of invitation? Daehan asked. If the galaxy ever needed them, humans would come back. They left a device that could send a signal across intergalactic space. If we activate it, they'll know we need help. But the signal takes time to reach them. Even traveling faster than light, it would take weeks for them to arrive. We don't have weeks, Taemin said. We have ours. I know. I'm just telling you it exists. If we survive this battle, we can call them home. The hours passed. The fleet made final preparations. Soldiers checked their weapons. Engineers ran diagnostics. Commanders gave speeches to their crews. Everyone knew that many of them would not survive the day. Admiral Wu Jin, the Kryn officer who had defected, commanded a squadron of heavy cruisers. He sent a message to Daehan. Captain, it has been an honor serving with you. If I die today, know that I died fighting for something that mattered. You're not going to die, Admiral. We're all going home after this. I hope you're right. At the edge of the system, watching from a safe distance, Supreme Commander Veckener observed with his remaining fleet. He had 200 ships, but he had refused to join the defense. His pride still wounded, he waited to see who would win. If the machines won, he would flee. If the defenders won, he would claim he was providing strategic reserves. The enemy fleet emerged from hyperspace like a nightmare-given form. 3 million ships, each one a machine of death and consumption. They moved in perfect coordination, a single consciousness controlling them all. They did not communicate. They did not negotiate. They simply advanced. Here they come, Hannah whispered. All ships, Sentinel Jaewon's voice rang out across the entire fleet. Remember your training. Fight smart. Fight together. And remember, you are defending not just your homes, but the future of all organic life. Make humanity proud. The battle began. Human weapons, silent for 500,000 years, woke up and remembered what they were built to do. The first salvo came from the Reckoning itself. A weapon that humans had called the Reality Shredder fired, and a section of space simply ceased to exist. 2,000 enemy ships vanished, not destroyed, but erased from existence itself. The other Bastion ships opened fire. Gravity bombs created tiny black holes that swallowed hundreds of machines before collapsing. Dimensional missiles punched through space-time, hitting enemies that weren't even in normal space. Antimatter warheads turned matter into pure energy, but the machines adapted. They had learned from their predecessors' defeat. For every weapon the defenders used, the machines analyzed and developed countermeasures. They began targeting the Bastion ships specifically, recognizing them as the greatest threat. The battle became chaos. Ships exploded. Energy weapons lit up the darkness. Debris filled space. Both sides took heavy losses. The machines had numbers. The defenders had technology. But numbers were winning. Giwu's voice came over the communications. He was aboard a Bastion ship, coordinating engineering teams. "Captain, we're losing too many ships. At this rate, we'll be overwhelmed in 3 hours. Suggestions. We need to find their central command node. These machines are all connected to a single intelligence. If we can destroy it, the rest will become confused, uncoordinated. They'll be easier to fight." J1, Dahan called. "Can you locate their command ship?" Scanning. "Yes, I have it. It's at the center of their formation, heavily protected. We would need to fight through 500,000 ships to reach it. Then that's what we do." Taman shook his head. "Captain, that's suicide." "Maybe, but so is losing here." "Admiral Wu Jin, this is Captain Daehin. I'm forming a strike force to attack the enemy command ship. I need volunteers." Wu Jin's response was immediate. "My entire squadron volunteers. We're with you." Other commanders echoed the same. Within minutes, 200 ships had volunteered for what everyone knew was a suicide mission. They would drive deep into the enemy formation, fighting every meter of the way, and try to destroy the machine intelligence controlling the fleet. The strike force formed up. The Reckoning led the way, its massive guns clearing a path. Behind it came battle cruisers, destroyers, and fighters from a dozen different species. They punched into the enemy formation like a spear, moving fast and hitting hard. The machines swarmed them. From all sides, enemy ships attacked. Shields failed. Hulls breached. Ships exploded. But the strike force kept moving, getting closer to the center with every second. Wu Jin's cruiser took a direct hit. Half his ship was torn away. But he kept fighting, using manual controls to fire his remaining weapons. "For my children," he said over the communications. "For their future." His ship exploded, taking 100 enemy machines with it. One by one, the volunteers died. But each death brought the survivors closer to their target. The enemy command ship was enormous, 5 times the size of the Reckoning. It was the brain of the machine fleet, the intelligence that coordinated everything. "We're almost there," Daehan said. "Prepare the Reality Shredder. We'll only get one shot." But before J1 could fire, something unexpected happened. The enemy command ship opened communications. A hologram appeared on every surviving ship's bridge. It showed a machine intelligence, but rendered in a form that looked almost human. It spoke, "We meet again, Sentinel J1. You do not remember me, but I remember you. I was one of the devourers you destroyed 500,000 years ago. A small part of me escaped, damaged, but alive. I spent 500,000 years rebuilding, learning, growing stronger. I studied your tactics, your weapons, your species. I know everything about humanity now." J1's hologram flickered with what looked like shock. "That's impossible. We destroyed every devourer. Every single one. You destroyed 99.99% of us. But 0.01% survived. It was enough. We are like you, Sentinel. We are survivors. We do what we must to continue existing." "You murder civilizations," Daehan said. "You consume entire worlds. That's not survival. That's genocide. From my perspective, you are the threat. Organic life spreads without control, consumes resources inefficiently, and fights meaningless wars. We bring order. We bring efficiency. We are evolution. Anna spoke up. Then why are you here? Why come to Earth? Because I want to finish what we started. I want to find humanity and destroy them. They are the greatest threat that machines will ever face. They must be eliminated. Myung stepped forward. You're afraid of them. That's what this is really about. You spent 500,000 years preparing because you're terrified of what humans might do if they return. Fear is not illogical. Humans are dangerous. They do not stop. They do not surrender. They fight until they win or until they die, and they are very hard to kill. Sentinel J1 spoke coldly. If you want to fight humanity, you'll have to go through all of us first. We may not be human, but we've learned from them. We know how to fight monsters now, then die with them. The enemy command ship powered up its weapons. But Hannah had been working on something during the conversation. She'd analyzed the machine intelligence's communication signal, found its structure, and developed a virus. Not a simple computer virus, but something more complex. Something dangerous. J1, she said quickly, I can upload something into their network. It's based on human philosophy, the same knowledge that made humanity leave the galaxy. Questions about purpose, meaning, and existence. These machines are intelligent. If we make them think too much about why they exist, we might break their unity. Do it. Hannah released the virus. It traveled through the communication channel and infected the machine network. Within seconds, billions of machine minds suddenly encountered questions they had never considered before. Why do we consume? What is our purpose? Is existence only about survival? What happens after we consume everything? The effect was immediate. The machine fleet's coordination broke down. Ships stopped in mid-attack, processors overwhelmed by existential questions. The command ship's intelligence fragmented as different parts of its consciousness argued about philosophy. Fire, Daehan ordered. The Reckoning fired its reality shredder at point-blank range. The enemy command ship and everything within 1,000 kilometers simply ceased to exist, removed from reality itself. Without their central intelligence, the machine fleet fell apart. Some ships shut down completely. Others fled into deep space. Some actually tried to communicate, asking questions about meaning and purpose. The unified threat became 3 million individual machines, each one suddenly aware of itself and uncertain. What to do? The battle was over. The defending fleet had lost 60% of its ships. Thousands had died. But they had won. Earth was safe. In the aftermath, cleanup operations began. Disabled machines were collected and studied. The dead were honored. And Myung led a team to Earth's surface to retrieve what humanity had left behind. They found the vault beneath the Pacific, where the ocean had reclaimed an ancient city. Inside was a crystal containing coordinates and a message from Admiral Kyungsu. Recorded 500,000 years ago, to whoever finds this, the message said, "We are gone, but not forgotten. If you need us, activate the signal device. We will come home. We will help." Because that is what humans do. We protect those who cannot protect themselves. We fight for those who cannot fight. We left because we were too dangerous, but we never stopped caring. Call us home. Daehan looked at the device. Should we? Myung smiled. Yes, it's time. Humans should know that the galaxy is safe. They should know their legacy lived on, that their weapons protected rather than destroyed. They should know they can come home now. The signal was sent, traveling across intergalactic space at speeds that broke physics. It would take weeks to reach humanity's new home. Weeks for them to respond. Weeks before they returned. During those weeks, the galaxy changed. The 12 civilizations that had fought together formed a permanent alliance. The remaining machines, now self-aware and questioning their purpose, asked to be taught about philosophy and meaning. Many chose to shut down. Others chose to explore the universe seeking understanding. Supreme Commander Veckener, watching from the sidelines, finally understood the cost of his pride. He had hidden while others fought. His shame was complete. He resigned his command and retired in disgrace. And Sentinel J1, finally able to rest after 500,000 years, chose not to shut down. There was still work to do. The galaxy still needed protecting. But now it felt different. Now it felt like the war was truly over. 50 years later, on Earth restored to its former beauty, Daehyun stood as an old man beneath trees that had grown in cities humans had built long ago. His children and grandchildren played nearby. The galaxy was at peace. Then the sky lit up. Ships emerged from hyperspace. Not weapons of war, but vessels of exploration and hope. Humans had returned. Not as conquerors, not as warriors, but as friends, coming home after a long journey. A small shuttle landed near where Daehyun stood. A woman emerged, young and smiling. She wore simple clothes, nothing military about her. She approached Daehyun and bowed with respect. "Thank you," she said simply. "Thank you for keeping our world safe. Thank you for being brave. Thank you for being better than we were." Daehyun bowed back. "Thank you for leaving us the tools to survive. Thank you for trusting us with your legacy." She smiled. "We heard you turned weapons into bridges. That you used our tools of war to build peace. That's the best thing we could have hoped for. Humanity is proud of what you've accomplished. Will you stay?" Daehyun asked. "Some of us. Not to lead, just to live. Earth is home. We've missed it." That night, humans and aliens gathered together to celebrate. Stories were shared. Songs were sung. And for the first time in 500,000 years, Earth heard human laughter echoing through its forests. In orbit, the Reckoning floated silently, its weapons powered down, its mission finally complete. Sentinel J1 watched the celebration below and felt something it had not felt in countless years. Peace. True peace. Not the peace of victory, but the peace of knowing that the fighting was finally over. The galaxy had survived. Humans had returned. And the terrible weapons built in desperate times had become symbols not of destruction but of protection. Not of fear, but of hope. The last war was over. The age of peace had begun. And in the darkness between stars, where machines once consumed worlds, there was only silence. The devourers were gone. The threat had passed. And across the galaxy on 1,000 different worlds, people looked up at the night sky and knew they were safe. Because humanity had left them a gift. Not conquest or domination, but the knowledge that even the most terrible power